increase in burglaries in rural Ireland in 2011. It's little wonder that elderly people living alone feel scared, but it's far from the only issue facing rural Ireland today.
Here to discuss this further are James O'Neill of Muintir, Tíre and Eddie Downey of the IFA. Thanks for coming in to join us on this. Big issues facing rural communities, and it's something that you discussed recently at your AGM there, James, in Muintir, Tíre, that there are a number of issues. The burglaries one is quite a real threat. You're saying it strikes a fear into the hearts of many, this increase in burglaries that's happening to people in rural communities. Tell us about it.
I suppose the increase is dramatic when we see nationally that it is 3%, but just in the local paper last week in Laois, it's 50%.
50?
Yes, 50%.
Far higher in rural communities. And why is that?
In Clonakilty, it's 23% higher, and in Monaghan, it's 33%.
Why do you think that's the case, James?
I think there are many reasons, possibly, but I suppose the downturn in the economy can be a contributory factor. Also, the improvement in our motorways, whilst we view them in a very positive light, but it also means that it's easier and takes a shorter length of time to come, possibly from an urban setting, into a rural setting and get back to out of that community.
Burglaries, we hate to hear of them happening. Generally, we expect them to happen in the dead of night, or if somebody's watching your house when you're away for a weekend or a holiday. James, you say it's quite different.
Yes, it's quite different that from An Garda Síochána just last week announced that Thursday and Friday during the day, from their perspective, is one of the highest incidents of rural burglaries.
Yeah, right.
Is that because people might be out doing their weekly shopping? Is that because they might be just out of the house? Or is it happening while they're in their houses?
It can be happening whilst they're in their houses, and we as a national organisation would be dealing and supporting 1,350 community alert groups. And we have found a huge demand and increase where communities want to come together and form a new community alert group. And they're doing that as a direct response to the increase in burglaries in their area. But having said that, in fairness, An Garda Síochána are working very closely with Muintir Tíre to ensure that we can have a policy that makes a difference in reducing those. Endorse what's been said there, and I think there are some innovating community texting programs coming into play, but we've got to be quite careful that they're operated with best practice in mind. So there are just an interesting one that I would cite in Askamore, which is located in North Wexford, and they were having an increase in burglary activity, and they started the process of identifying maybe cars that were not local to the area and reporting them, as being maybe to be checked out.
Okay.
But in their community alert sign, they were quite innovative. They said, if you are coming to Askamore to visit, you are very welcome to this beautiful scenic area. But if you're here for another intention, there are 300 eyes watching you. And when they monitored having put in those signs, the numbers reduced dramatically of cars.
So it's just about getting the awareness out there and knowing that the community is all on alert.
But you've got to do it. You've got to do it in consultation, agreement with An Garda Síochána, and I think that over the coming months there is that working of that partnership with the farmer IFA and ourselves and An Garda Síochána.
Sure, and moving